Yo, what's good, BC? How you feeling, baby?
I am tired right now. If you didn't hear the little cracks in the neck right there, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Tuesday night, man. Almost the middle of the week. Can't wait for the weekend. About to go golfing Saturday. Trying to get that play, baby. Trying to get that play. I know you've been working hard. It's good to have you back. It's been like a couple weeks now. I've been working hard.
I'm trying to, man. Like it's baseball is back, and man, that 82 game season for the majors, and like however many, 162, but when you divide it for the home games, there you go. The math is mathing, and like the 50 plus games for minor league baseball, dude. It don't stop. And then we got college, so there's that.
Math ain't math. Math ain't math.
It's not mathing. And dude, speaking of the math ain't mathing, man, how about these NBA playoffs right now, dude?
Loving the NBA playoffs, baby. Loving the NBA.
I was gonna say, how's your money line been looking these days, brother?
It's going back and forth. Right now, Andre Drummond just sold me right now, but yesterday it made some good money. So it goes back and forth. I wish it would always be green, because if not, we'd be having a dope ass studio. I'd be flying you guys out on the PJ, trying to get the in live studio set up. Be sick, but the way it works.
We on that what they call that hashtag grind, right? As the kids say.
Yeah. Well, guys, welcome into another episode of Views from the Stands. Steve is not with us tonight; he cannot join, but it's your boy G Mike and BC on the mix. You already know. We're gonna be talking NBA playoffs, game 1s and 2s. Some of the game 2s already went down. Another one tonight with the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Lakers is about to come down. And then tomorrow we got a few more game 2s. We're going into game 3s on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then throughout the weekend. So it's gonna be dope. It's pretty exciting. Get into the NBA, into the NFL draft. We're gonna be talking about some pre-draft on the picks that we want for our certain teams. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to our two sponsors, Varsity Sports Nation. Varsity Sports Nation is a company where they stream high school sports, some college sports, and they have a lot of talk shows when it comes to sports shows. Any type of documentaries that you want to see on certain sports. It's not big time documentaries, but local, like Central Florida, South Florida, and Southwest Florida. So if you guys can, check it out on Roku. They got an app on iPhone, Android. You find it there, Varsity Sports Nation. It's a dope app when it comes to sports, high school sports, college sports, and even some pro talk shows. Check it out there. And then PodMatch. PodMatch connecting us with other podcasters, getting us on other shows, getting other guests to come on our shows as well. It's a great community when it comes to podcasting. Go check out their website, PodMatch.com. It gets you set up easily for free, and to try to make some money on there too. Go find out, go check it out, see what's up. But without further ado, BC, let's get into it, baby.
It's From the Hardwood with VFTS.
The NBA playoffs has not been disappointing, baby. It's been raw. It's been dope. Just quick, before we get into the Sixers-Boston Celtics 2 game that just ended right now, just want to give a quick update on what just happened today, transpired in the second quarter, almost going into halftime. Victor Wembanyama ended up falling, and he hit his face and jaw at the same time right to the ground. He got up dazed, looked like he didn't know what he was looking at, looked like he was seeing stars. He ended up getting up and just running straight into the locker room. Didn't come back out. Thank God they didn't have any free throws for him to shoot, because he wouldn't be able to come back into the game. But unfortunately, it didn't matter, because now he's out for the game, and they're saying that he has a concussion, which looks like he's probably not going to be playing for the next 2 games. So that could really affect the Spurs on that one. But as of now, they're up by 1 point, about to go into the fourth quarter on the Portland Trail Blazers. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on at the end of the show to see what's up and look at the stats on that one. But just to start it off with the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers, just to give you guys some stats and exactly how the game went down. Philadelphia 76ers won 111-97, and the player of the game is BJ Edgecombe. Boy dropped 30 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and he shot 6 for 10 from the 3 and 12 from 20 from the field. The rookie sensation started going crazy. Tyrese Maxey, 29 points, 11 for 28 from the field, 5 for 12 from 3. So both of them is shooting lights out, shooting 11 3-pointers put together. And then Paul George with 19 points, 7 for 13, very efficient, 2 for 5 from the field. And then Kelly Oubre helping them, getting them along, man. He got 12 points. He went 50% from the field, doing what he needs to do, just getting 10 points or more to try to get him over the edge on that. The Boston Celtics side, Jason Tatum, 19 points, 8 for 19. Didn't really have a good shooting night. 2 for 8 from the 3-pointer and 14 rebounds. He got a lot of hustle plays there. But Jaylen Brown was the actual man of the show for the C's. 36 points, 11 for 24 from the field, 5 for 12 from 3. Very surprising there. Jaylen Brown to be really making that many. And then he went 9 for 12 from the free throw line. Just to give you guys a little insight, man, if you guys have not been watching the Boston Celtics for the last few years, this team literally lives and dies by the 3. And that's exactly what they did this game. They went 13 for 50 from the 3-point line, 26% in that shooting. And then while the 76ers were 19 for 39. So they didn't have as many 3-pointers, but they still made them more efficiently than them. And they had a more efficient game from the field all around, layups, dunks, mid-range, whatnot. But just to get your insight on this, BC, how do you feel C's keep doing what they keep doing and just trying to win off of 3-pointers and not doing anything else when it comes to the role players? Obviously, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to do their thing, but you need Derek White, you need Sam Hauser, you need Vucevic off the bench. How do you feel about them living and dying by the 3?
I would say they've taken modern basketball and they've really tried to extrapolate it out to the most extreme degree that they can, which, I mean, look, it's this. The simple math is 3 is greater than 2. And of course, that's why we've had the 3-point revolution that we're in. The problem is that math that you can bring out over a large sample size in the regular season, that you see this in every sport. The math that you use in the regular season, you can't necessarily use in the postseason, because instead of 82 games, or in NFL 17 games, or in baseball 162 games, that doesn't fly in a 4 to 5 game series, because there are so many variables that can happen. There's so many things that could go right and could go wrong. And a lot of times you have to be able to make adjustments on the fly in much, much shorter amounts of time. Teams can go on like 10, 15, 20 game win streaks in the regular season. Easy. All right. Because the math adds up to that. But during the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. You have to be able to be great for a handful of games. And it like I said, regular season flies one way, postseason is a completely different way. So Boston, what works for them, the regular season, they got to be able to adjust right now in the postseason. They got to be able to, if the 3's not flying, you got to be able to find a way to drive it in low. You got 2 great ball handlers in Tatum and Brown, both of whom have good mid-range games, both of whom can slash and cut to the rim. So if the shot's not falling right now, just drive in with them, try to get some motion going in the offense, try to get some pick and rolls going. You got guys like Vucevic, who is a great pick and pop option, who even if his 3's not falling, he's still got a great mid-range jumper. So work some motion in on the offense and stop trying to rely so much on your catch and shoot 3s or you're off the dribbles. Just work it inside a little bit. And then once you start developing a rhythm a little bit more, once you start getting that hot hand outside, that's when you can start cooking. But they just keep trying to make something happen when it's just not working. And that's not going to produce winning basketball, as you see in this most recent game.
Yeah, I mean, they got a candidate for the year, coach of the year, in Joe Mazzulla, and he's been an outstanding coach since he took over the reins there in Boston for sure. But it's just exactly what you just said. Like, if the 3's not falling, and by halftime the 3 wasn't really falling for most of them, right? Obviously, Jaylen Brown, he did his thing and he got 4 for 12. When you really think about it, it's not great. It's not even above average, but it's to the point that like 5 3s, that's good enough. You know what I'm saying? And he's the type of player that he drives into the basket and he'll get you a bucket no matter what. But if everybody else is shooting 2 for 10, Derek White, 2 for 8, Sam Hauser, 2 for 8, Jason Tatum, 1 for 4, Vucevic, 0 for 4, Peyton Pritchard, like, I get it. The shot is not falling. Cool. You guys make it most of the time. You live and die by the three. That's your motto. But when you realize that it's not going down, shouldn't you make the adjustment and be like, yo, you know what? Today our shots are not falling. You know what? Let's start doing some baseline cuts, pick and pops, fake the three, drive in, pull up midi, or if not, drive in for a layup or a dunk, try to get a foul, get to the free throw line. Change it up somehow offensively if it's not falling. You feel me? I get it. Shoot or shoot. But sometimes you're going to have a bad day. And this right there primarily just shows you that you had this bad day, game 2 at home, where you could have gone 2-0 to go on the road. And now the 76ers primarily did their job of taking a game away from you at the crib. And now they go back to Philly where their fans are hyped. Their fans are going to be giving them motivation and excitement and the pride to go and protect their crib. Maybe they go up 3-1 on you because you diminish this advantage.
Yep. And that's the thing right now. Like you just said, momentum is in Philly's favor, and they're going home. Philly is one of the toughest places to play, not just in basketball, but really in any sport. The fans are relentless. They find a way to get inside your head. So if you've already lost momentum, whatever momentum you had in that blowout win in game 1, you better hope and pray that they come out ice cold. Because if they don't, and they're finding ways to adapt and adjust, and shout out to them, they've been able to make those adjustments. They were not making their shots at game 1, so they adjusted, they rebounded, and you have now VJ Edgecombe having the kind of game he had. And Tyrese Maxey still putting up an underrated game as well. So it's on Boston now at this point. Philly responded. They punched you right in the mouth in your home court. Going back home now it's your job to either return the favor or you're coming back home down 3-1. And I get it. It's at home in the Garden. But you got one game that you have 3 games you're going to have to win from that point on. It's not looking good for Boston.
Yeah, facts. And my bad, I just pressed back on this little technical difficulty there. They kicked me out. No, but definitely.
You me the floor a little bit. I was like, okay.
All right. Let him get his shine right quick. Yeah, man. No, but definitely. I mean, they should have protected it. They should have gone up 2-0. You saw what they did in game 1. Demolished them. Freaking dominated in that game. Yep. Should have done the same thing in the second game, but again, you live and die by the 3. The first game they were making threes like crazy. Second game they didn't. So I guess if that's the model you're gonna live by, all right, cool, whatever. I don't really agree with it because I feel like once you feel like it's not going in, all right, cool, let's switch it up, bro. Let's see if we could give them something else and see how they play defensively against it. Are they gonna adjust well, or they're not going to adjust well? Next thing you know, we still get we take the lead. We retake the lead and we get the win. You go on the road 2-0. But now you don't really see that.
I think whichever team finds the most balance too and doesn't have to rely solely on its 2-star ball movers or ball handlers to make plays, I think that's going to be the team that is able to, win it all. Like, big shocker, team that plays the most team basketball wins the series. But honestly, it's so true. You're not going to be able to just rely on your 2 guys to carry the load and just everybody else just kind of stand away and get ready to pick and pop and catch and shoot. Like, no, you're going to have to get everybody involved in this series.
Yeah, facts. Yesterday, great thriller of a game that went down between the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. Crazy thriller game right there. It just freaking went down yesterday, man, to the wire. Hawks won 107-106. The New York Knicks led at the fourth quarter by 14 points. They ended up blowing that. The Hawks won the fourth quarter 28-15. CJ McCollum had a night, 32 points, 12 for 22, 3 for 10 from 3. Not that good at the 3-point, but he was cooking at the end in the fourth quarter. He probably had like 12 points himself. 12 to 15 points himself in that fourth quarter. Anybody that switched up on him, he was cooking, especially Brunson. Brunson, crazy liability on defense. Jalen Johnson went in the first half. I think he only had like 4 points in the first half. Ended the game with 17 points, 6 for 12. Shot 50% from the field. It went 0 for 3 in threes, but he went to the free throw line 5 times and made all of those. Had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, while Ukangu, I also had 15 points. He helped out there, 6 for 9 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3 and 8 rebounds as well. And then Jonathan Kuminga, 17 points off the bench, man. Great trade for them right there. He's really putting on a show for them.
That's like Golden
Making
State
tons of plays. Yeah,
right now.
For real. 7 for 12 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. Didn't really shoot good, but he got to the free throw line for 6 shots. He only made 4 of them, 4 rebounds. And then on the other side, Jalen Brunson, 29 points. The starting 5 had 10 plus points, right? They did good. They did what they really did. Just to get your view before I start getting into it, how do you feel about the Knicks blowing that lead and letting the Atlanta tie the series?
No, I mean, like you said, like Brunson has kind of shown himself as a liability on the defensive end. And you look at it, 29 points in the game, like, oh, wow, like that's great. But then you look at his plus minus, he's only a +3. Like the lack of defense that he's giving the Knicks at this point, it's getting exposed by the Hawks in the playoffs. And the Hawks have probably the best defensive guard duo in the league right now with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's done, I think, a really great job of locking people down. But also, too, CJ McCollum, shout out to him. Not only did he have, a great offensive game, too, but also getting 2 steals in a block. Jonathan Kuminga playing great defense as well, 2 steals in a block. Like, both of those guys, the whole Atlanta Hawks team plays great team defense. So, and they know how to put the clamps on you, and they executed it to perfection. So, but as far as with New York goes, and I think you'll probably hint at this a little bit, discrepancies right now, like, yes, Brunson's doing his thing. Karl-Anthony Towns, a little underwhelming. 18 points. And
is that we talk about the same thing, BC, every year? We talk about the same shit with this guy.
Gosh. God, you know. But yeah, 8 boards, man. As a 7'7", the tallest guy out there, 7 boards. Or no, 8 boards, my bad. 7 foot, 8 boards. Meanwhile, you're getting out rebounded and out hustled by Josh Hart, grab 13. Like, I get it. Obviously, rebounds aren't the only stat to measure defense. It's not the stat to measure defense and hustle and all that. He got 2 blocks, but it just kind of shows, to me, it shows kind of a lack of effort. And I feel like you're kind of, I'll set that alley-oop up for you to go ahead and slam it on home.
That's the problem that I have with Karl-Anthony Towns. He's too passive-aggressive in the postseason, man. This is why people really think that he's a softie out there, bro. 18 points, 8 for 12. Yes, you were very efficient. You had 2 for 5 and 3-pointers, for sure. But why are you not taking 20 shots? Why are you not taking 15 shots? Because you're too passive-aggressive. You go out there and you're just lollygagging on offense or defense as well, running down the court. Oh, my gosh. Like, going like that and stuff. Like, Zesty is motherfucking in the game right now. Dude, like, he needs to be aggressive, dog. Like, he needs to be thinking, yo, I'm dropping 40 and grabbing 15 rebounds every single game, bro. If not, they're not going to win. And then at the end, OG Anunoby, yo, you're shooting 80% from the free throw line and you get a crucial foul to go to the line and you miss 2 free throws in a row. Not to mention, at the end of the game, CJ McCollum missed through 2 free throws. They're up by 1 point, 6 seconds left on the clock. Josh Hart gets a rebound, goes down court. First person he sees is Miles Bridges, but on the other side of Miles Bridges was Jalen Brunson. I get that you have 6 points and you're just, 6 seconds and you're just like, yo, I got to get up a shot. I got to get up a good shot. But I'm sorry, in that situation, the guy that has been bailing you guys out and has been hitting big shot after big shot after big shot is freaking Jalen Brunson. And you don't give him the ball to hit the shot at the end or maybe go through the free throw line, where he loves to draw the free throw and he knows how to draw it because he's so intelligent on offense. And you don't give him the ball with that seconds left in the game.
He was also the clutch player of the year 2 years ago or last season, not this past season, but the season before. Like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, there's only one guy that needed the ball in his hands at that point. The guy that actually thrives when the pressure's on. So again, we knock him for his defense. But the dude on offense, when it's time to make the shots, he knows how to make them. So, yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know why that wasn't the game plan at all. It just it doesn't make sense.
It's not that it wasn't the game plan, because when you grab that rebound, when Josh Hart grabs that rebound, you got 6 seconds left. You got to make a quick decision for sure. But he passed it to the first guy he saw. I don't fault him for that. Give it to Miles Bridges. But Miles Bridges looked at Brunson. He looked at him and then decided, yo, I'm taking this myself.
Yeah.
On Jalen Johnson, who is a great wing defender.
Yep. Super underrated.
Dude, bro, I don't get it, man. But again, it was things that led up to that. You have 14 points. You are up 14 points in the fourth quarter. And the problem with the New York Knicks has always been the lack of defense. They love to play offense. They're great on offense for sure. And especially when Karl Anthony Towns is being aggressive and not being passive aggressive. They're super great on offense. The past 3 years, they've been like top 5 in offensive points, offensive rating. But when it comes to the defense side, they're lackluster. They don't know what to do when it comes to the clutch time, when it comes to buckle down and get stops. 14 points leading into the fourth quarter, bro. And you guys blow it and lose by a point.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Is what it is, dog. Is what it is.
Let me bring up this other picture here, and we'll talk about the other game yesterday, where the Minnesota Timberwolves tied the series against the Denver Nuggets, and 119 to 114. And Anthony Edwards was the player of the game here. 30 points, 10 for 25, 3 for 11 from the three. That'll be more efficient there, but you know him; he's gonna take his shots. He don't care. He's putting him up. 10 rebounds. Well, he was a lot of hustle play. Julius Randle, 24 points, 7 for 14. So he went 50% from the field and 2 for 4 from 3, 8 for 10. Great way to get to the free throw line. 9 rebounds, 6 assists. And then on the other side, let's look at what Jokic got. 24 points, 8 for 20. Damn. 1 for 7 and 3. So Rudy was playing a little bit of good defense. 15 rebounds. Jamal Murray, 30 points, 11 to 25, 6 for 14 from the 3, 2 for 2 for the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. So he was having a good hustle game as well. And then Christian Brown with 16 points, helping them get that. And Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off the bench, where he's a candidate for 6th man of the year. 16 points, 4 for 9, 3 for 3 from the 3-point, and 5 for 8 from the free throw line. So he was getting to the basket as well. So with this series here, I feel like it's been fairly even when it comes to hustle plays, rebounding, assists, getting shots up, making points. Both games went down basically to the fourth quarter, like 3 minutes left in the game, where in game 1, the Nuggets started to take off, and that's it. They ran away with the game. And this game, it was the Timberwolves with 2 minutes left. They started to take off, and they ran away from the game. With this series here, do you think it's going to be like that through every single game?
I think this one, it will be the most competitive of all of the playoff series. I think that just because of how both teams' styles kind of, how they kind of not complement, but how they kind of contrast each other a little bit. It's similar enough to where it's a physical, grinded out kind of style. They just do it in different ways. They do it through different, I guess you could say, like modus operandi. Like Minnesota obviously runs through Ant, runs through Julius Randle on offensive end. The Nuggets, it's through Jokic, and they kind of spread it out. They'll have Jamal Murray, but then they also have other people like Aaron Gordon on the team too. But this game, game 2, it was Minnesota's opportunity to respond to getting beat in game 1, and they did. They were able to adapt a little bit. Like you said, Rudy Gobert shutting down, making Nikola Jokic work, and having to, he still got his numbers. He still got 20. He still got 24. Still put up a near triple double. The thing is, he had to work for it, and he was less efficient when putting up his shots. And that's going to be the key. You're going to have to make if you can shut him down, not shut him down, if you can contain him, and you have to make the other players on the team beat you, you have a shot. That is the thing with these types of teams, that both of them do typically rely on their stars for the majority of the flow on offense. The way I see this going is whoever does the better job of shutting down Ant or containing Ant or Jokic is going to be the team that wins it. That's my prediction. Like if Gobert can continue to play this kind of defense on Jokic, then I think Minnesota's got this one. I think it's going to go to 7. But if the Nuggets can find a way to somehow key in on defense, maybe have Jamal Murray starting off on Ant, but maybe if they do a pick and roll or he does like a slash, you have Aaron Gordon kind of drop as the weak side defender, just kind of ready to pick up or switch if he needs to, then Denver's going to pull this out. I will say the difference between these two teams, though, is that Denver does have championship experience over Minnesota in this situation. But Minnesota and a lot of these guys don't have, they're hungry. They don't have a ring, so that can also play in their favor too, where they might want it more. I don't really know which Jokic we might see. Are we going to see the one that's the stone cold assassin that just, does his thing and walks home, or is he going to be the guy that wants to go and ride his horses a couple weeks early? We'll find out.
I think Jokic is always going to come to play. I don't think he's ever going to shy away from the moment. He's always he's on his P's and Q's when it comes to the offensive side. I think he's getting a little bit better, like maybe 1%, 2% better on defense. Maybe a little bit more hustle play because he sees how much he has to really help when it comes to protecting the rim or even switching off of the picks. Yeah. To go off of what you say about the championship pedigree that they have, the only thing I'll push back on that is that they don't have their coach that they won the championship with, which can be a difference maker with this coach because maybe he doesn't know the right adjustments. Maybe he doesn't know exactly what's going to go on further into the playoffs and stuff like that. Obviously, we're only going into game 3 in the first round, so you got to take it game by game. But still, that knowledge and experience, I feel like, is going to come to play. With the Timberwolves and Nuggets, I think it's going to go game 7 still. I said this before, and what I had said before is going to come down to the role players because I think the stars are going to show out. I think Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle are going to do their thing. Jokic and Jamal Murray are going to do their thing. Now we got to see what comes from the role players. And in the first game, the role players didn't really show up that much for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then in this game, you got Naz Reid with 11 points, and you got Bones Highland with 13 points, Dante DiVincenzo with 16, Jaden McDaniels with 14. They came to play this time. They knew exactly what they needed to do. You heard Jaden McDaniels say that we got to attack each and every one of them. He was throwing shade that they're all bad defenders. And it's like with that mentality that you have, it's the aggressiveness of going at them and not being scared. And that's exactly why he put up 14. DiVincenzo put 16, Naz Reid 11, and Bones Highland with 13. Again, and Julius Randle are going to do their thing. They did it last year. They're going to do it again this year. But we're going to see what's going to happen moving down the line. Are they going to be consistent enough? And even on the Nugget side, are the role players going to be consistent enough to get them to where they need to go? Again, I think it's going to go game 7. At the end of it, I would say Minnesota.
Yeah.
Nuggets can't go. Sometimes they can't. And that goes to the whole switch off of Jokic. If you come and set up pick off and you get the switch on Jokic, it's either if Ant gets a switch on him or Jaden McDaniels or even Dante DiVincenzo, it's either they're gonna try to fake to drive to the basket and do a step back where Jokic can't recover off of that. Yes, he's tall and he's lanky, he can get his arm up, but it's not gonna be enough to affect their shot. So it's gonna be tough there. And the same thing on the other side with Jamal Murray and Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is slow as hell too. But the thing is that I feel like they have more hustle play off of Minnesota than they have on them, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's where having a player like Aaron Gordon comes in handy for the Nuggets because he is that extra post defender that you can commit. Like if you have Jokic, if you get a switch on Jokic, you can have him kind of back him up because he is that great 1 through 5 kind of all-around defender that can really help defend. But again, he's just one guy, and he's having to cover up for your star player. So not the best strategy, but they still win with it.
Yep. The other game too that went down was Cleveland and Toronto, and I feel like this series it should end in 4, in my opinion. But like I had mentioned before, I don't know if you saw BC when I had the episode with Steve, but I feel like Cleveland just always blows a game. They always do some dumb stuff, and they just they end up sucking, and then they end up quitting in that game. They're just like, all right, whatever. on to next game. It is what it is. And I feel like that's what's going to happen. That will probably happen game 4. I think they win game 3 again. I don't think Toronto's going to have that knowledge and experience and will to take it and get game 3 under their belt. I think Cleveland's going to have the same thing on the other side, the experience, the knowledge to take game 3 and go up 3-0. But the Cavs won game 2, 115-105 by 10 points. The player of the game was Donovan Mitchell, 30 points, 13 for 23, 4 for 10 from 3, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. James Harden came to play on the scoring side, 28 points, 9 for 14. 3 for 8 from 3, 7 for 10 from the free throw line. Still getting through the free throw line like it's all good. Evan Mobley doing his thing. Back to the basket player. 25 points, 11 for 13. Super efficient in this game. 1 for 2 from 3, and he had 8 rebounds.
Shout out to James Harden on the defensive end too. He got 5 steals. That's nothing to ignore right there.
5 steals. Wow.
Yeah. Even if he's not the best on-ball defender, the dude is opportunistic, and he's at that point in his career now where he knows where the ball is going to be. And even if he can't guard this, even if he was never a great guard great guard, even if he wasn't a great defender, he still is aware enough to know like when to pick the passing lanes. And shout out to him for taking advantage of that in game 2.
Yeah. On the other side, Scotty Barnes, 26 points, 11 for 19, 1 for 4 from 3, had 5 assists, 4 rebounds. RJ Barrett, 22 points, 10 for 13 from the field, very efficient as well. 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. And this is the guy that I wanted to ask you about here. Yeah. Brandon Ingram, 7 points, 3 for 15, 1 from 3 from 3-pointers, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 turnovers, right? In the first game, he complained in the post game that he complained about his coaching staff. One, you don't do that with the media in playoffs. You don't do that, right?
Nope.
But he did, and he said they're using me as a screener, and they're not giving me plays to run plays through, right?
Yeah.
He said that after game 1. Come game 2, and he dropped 7 points, 3 for 15.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with Brandon Ingram, BC?
Dude, I don't know, man, because he went from being a -19 to being a -15. So, I mean, that's, I guess, a slight improvement, but I don't even see how. Like, that's just abysmal. Like, he's doing the name Brandon, like, horribly right now. Gosh, man, like, shout out.
Butchering your name right now, dude.
He really is, man. But I don't know, man. Like, I honestly, I can't pinpoint it, man. The Raptors in general have been like, he went downhill when he got
a gorilla. Though. That Memphis energy is getting to him.
Honestly, if it's not Drake, it's Glorilla. So like the Raptors are just they're cursed, man. I don't know what else to say. It's not from 2019, but yeah, he's been struggling to hit his shots. I mean, game 1, he wasn't that horrible for the game. I mean, he didn't shoot that much either. 5 of 9, but 7 of 10 from the line. That's still somewhat respectable. But then, dude, just like you're saying, man.
But the thing is that you complain about being a screener and not getting plays for yourself, and then you did this game and you go 3 for 15.
Yep. And you can imagine coach is just going to go right back and be like, yeah, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going right back to screening. You're going to be screening for the real playmakers right here, which he's got no one to blame but himself at that point. But, I mean, I know you're going to dog on him some more, but I just want to say, though, too, like Cleveland has done a great job of handling business, and I do agree with you. I think they will drop one game to Toronto on the road. Again, Toronto's a place that's notorious to be tough to play at, and ain't nobody going to fault them for that. They'll get the win at home, and they'll cruise to the next round, I think. But let's get back to the Brandon Ingram haters manifesto right here. Go ahead, G-Mike, pop off.
It's not even about being a hater, dog. It's that I feel you that you want to be the star player, and you say, you know, one thing is saying it to your coaches behind the scenes, but to go in the media and saying that, I don't agree with that at all. But he did. He ended up doing it. And he basically related how he was feeling. And he's like, yo, I want the ball, and I want to be the one to make plays and make points and be the savior for this team. All right, cool. That's cool. But we give you the opportunity, and you blow it.
Yep.
So when that happens, okay, so when they start calling you out, when the coaches start calling you out, are you gonna cry about it? Who knows? Who knows? Because it hasn't happened. But Woody, it's like, dude, that was not a smart move to call out your coaches to the media. That should have been behind the scenes, right? But you did, and you come out and you play like this. There's no way that the Raptors win if you keep playing like this. There's no way. There's no way that they win one game if Brandon Ingram keeps playing like this. If he does play better, it's gonna be in Game 4, my prediction, and he's gonna pop off, and they're gonna have some light, and then Cleveland's gonna go back to the crib, and I promise you, they're gonna win by 20, and then the series quick on a gentleman's sweep and move on to the next round. But Bi, man, you can't be saying I want the ball, I want to be the man. And when it's time to show up, you don't show. Yep. No call, no show. No PTO, no sick leave, nothing.
Yep. I don't know what it is either, man. Like I know he got drafted by the Lakers, spent some time out in LA and everything, but I mean, he went to New Orleans after that. So it's like you kind of think like any bright lights, cockiness maybe he felt from the big city. You think it would kind of be dealt with in New Orleans, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like you said, he's got to adjust somehow, and if you don't, I don't even know.
Yeah. So right now we got the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Lakers about to tip off of Game 2. We got 2 more Game 2s that are going to be played tomorrow night. The Oklahoma City Thunder against the Phoenix Suns, and then we have BC's team, Orlando Magic, against the Detroit Pistons. We're not going to talk about the Suns and Thunder right now, but we are going to talk about the Magic and Pistons because the BC team. Game 1, Magic stunned the Detroit Pistons, where a lot of people, I'm pretty sure there was like 95% of bets were on the Pistons to win this game. And the Magic won 112-101, where player of the game, I think it was Paulo putting it up right here. Yeah, Paulo, 23 points, but all 5 starters for the Magic had more than 16 or more points. Yep. Great starting 5 in addition to how to start the playoffs. Paulo, 23 points. Franz, 19. Wendell Carter Jr., 17. Wendell Carter, BC.
Yeah.
Wendell Carter.
Finally.
Shit.
Turn it on the last few.
17. Jalen Suggs, 16. Bro, they were shooting good from 3. They were hustling. All 5 starters had 4 or more rebounds. All 5 starters had 4 or more assists. That's how you know they were playing like as a team. They were hustling on defense and offense. Each one of the 5 starters had 1 or more steals. Like, dude, they were just playing impeccable basketball. It was great to see against the Detroit Pistons team where it looked like it was a one-man show out there. Ken Cunningham, 39 points, 13 for 27, 3 for 8 from 3, and 10 from 11 from the free throw line. Way to get to the free throw line, kid, for real. Like, that's the way you do it. It's 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and the next person up with the most points was Tobias Harris.
Yep.
17 points, 5 for 15, 1 for 7 from 3. Yikes. Jalen Duren did not have a good game. Really didn't put up more shots like that. I think it's because Orlando's just very oversized for it's hard for him to actually get in the paint and do the damage that he normally does. Duncan Robinson, I've seen this show many times on replay. 9 points, 3 for 8, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. He does not show up when you need him to show up. He only shows up sometimes. But yeah, man, Orlando Magic stunned Detroit Pistons, taking a game 1 on the road. Do you think they'll be able to get game 2 on the road and go up 2-0 and go back to the crib?
I don't, but it's just mostly because of how these games have been going, where team gets up and the other team responds and they're able to kind of punch them in the mouth. They'll get some momentum back. But I think that it was very important for them to get this win on the road right here. This puts more of the pressure now on Detroit, which, as great as they've played in the regular season, they are not – of all the top-seeded teams in the Eastern Conference, they are probably, if I've got my math right, You've got them, you've got Boston, you've got New York, and then Cleveland as the 4. They are probably the least experienced when it comes to the postseason. The Magic, for all of their faults that I've talked about this year, for all the problems and issues they've faced this year, and some of it's been due to injury, some of it has been to poor play from the players, some of it has been to do poor coaching. It's been all of it. And anybody saying otherwise, I'm sorry. You got everything has gone wrong for them this year. They still have, I would argue, more experience in the postseason as a collective group than Detroit. And that plays to their advantage. Even if Detroit if Detroit is able to win game 2, which I think they will, they go back home 1-1. They have a chance then at the Kia Center, which they've played great at this year. They've done a really good job playing well in front of their home crowd. So if they go up 3-1 on Detroit, that gives them just such a wave of momentum. And they will. What I'm really interested in seeing in if they lose game 2, I want to see how close they lose it by. I want to see how well the players play. Are they still doing the same? Are they still playing the same brand of team basketball where they're not just one guy's trying to hog the ball the whole time when they're down? Paolo's trying to be a hero. Franz is trying to be a hero. Can they all just keep playing as a team? And if they can do that, even if they lose the next game, that's going to give me some hope going into game 3 and game 4. It's if they can stick to the game plan of getting everybody involved, not relying on just 1 or 2 people to dominate, but just let everybody in the collective do their thing. And they all played it great. Like we talked about, Wendell Carter Jr., I've been one of his biggest critics this year. And one of the big reasons is because of the fact that I don't see him much as a rim protector. I don't see him getting rebounds a whole lot. He only got 7 rebounds tonight, but he got 5 assists. Definitely added as a playmaker in the post on offense. On defense, 2 steals and a block. That's getting involved. Even if he's not blocking like 5 shots in a game or stealing the ball 3 or 4 times, he's still doing his part. So if he can continue to do that while also being productive on the offensive end, making those threes, doing the things that he's supposed to do, great. Let's just keep doing it. This is winning basketball. This is how you get out of where you were at before, the funk you were in before this year. And this is how you make it past the first round for the first time since the Dwight years, honestly. That's what they got to do.
Thanks.
I don't
even gotta say much on it because you hit all the points. But what I will say is, if somehow the Magic win tomorrow night and they go up 2-0 at the crib, I think that the Magic take this series. I think that they will win this series if they go 2-0 and then go back to the crib. I think it's going to be hard for the Pistons to be like, yo, we got to take 2 on the road now and then go back to the crib and get a third one and then come back over here to the Kia Center and get another one. I don't know. It's going to be too tough. But if the Pistons tie up the series tomorrow, I still think Detroit will take it. I think it's going to be a different series. But how are they going to do it? If Duncan Robinson is not scoring more than 10 points, if Tobias Harris, the second leading scorer on this team, if Cade Cunningham has to drop almost 40 points every single game, and Jalen Duren can't get it done because he can't do anything else but grab an alley-hoop and dunk it at the rim, how's it going to get done? You know what I'm saying? The bench has to step up. Dude, highest scorer on the bench, Dennis Jenkins, 6 points. Everybody else, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 2 points. It's not going to get it done in playoff basketball, especially if you have championship aspirations. You're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. Not even close.
Well, and also, too, the Magic aren't really relying as much on their bench as they usually have been during the regular season. They were only run 9 deep, and most of their guys, they had Tristan Silva and Anthony Black, but it's pretty much just been those 2 and then Jamal Cain and Goga, and that's pretty much it. So if Detroit, the key for them is, number 1, being able to get the Magic out of their rhythm as a team. If they can somehow get Paolo or Franz to kind of start going back to the hero ball that sometimes they're kind of prone to doing, then that's how they're able to take advantage of it. If they're able to, kind of get also the 2 with your starting 5, 32, 37, 37, 35, 36, that's a lot of minutes. So if they're able to kind of let the Magic wear themselves out and maybe go to a superior bench, more bodies to kind of throw in there, then that's how they're going to win it. But they're not going to win it by trying to match up physically with Wendell Carter and Paolo Banchero, because both those guys, 6'10", 250, 270. You got Asar Thompson and Tobias Harris as your forwards, and then Jalen Duren, who is the only guy that's about 250 on this squad. So you're not going to match up against them physically. You're going to have to beat them more with your spacing, with your three ball. But again, even that's going to be tough because you got Bane and Suggs, both of whom Suggs is an all-NBA caliber defender, and Bane might not necessarily be all defense, still a great defender. So the Magic just have to keep sticking to their game plan. The Pistons have to find some way to kind of adapt and adjust and throw them off the rhythm and get them to go back to iso ball. That has been the biggest killer for the Magic this year. If Detroit can get them to switch from team basketball back to iso ball, then that's how they win it. And that's why I'm curious to kind of see how tomorrow goes. If the Magic keep it close, to me that shows that they're still not getting away from everything. But if they get blown out, then to me that's seeing that they're letting this unravel. And usually with this team I've seen, when it rains, it pours, for better or worse.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They saw almost 50% from the field.
Yep.
They were playing great collectively. They passed the ball around. And you saw with the assists, they hustled, grabbed a lot of boards. They were very efficient. You know, I think if they have, obviously it's tough to keep playing the same way game in, game out, for sure. But if they keep having the same type of play, Orlando could move on, bro. Orlando could move on because the Pistons only have Cade.
Yep.
Who else is going to be putting up buckets like that consistently? It's tough, man. But let's see. It could have been a fluke first game. It could have been a fluke.
We're going to see tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be the biggest test, I think. That'll be what I think tomorrow night will kind of set the stage for the rest of the series.
Yeah. Game 2 between the San Antonio Spurs and Portland Trailblazers. 5 seconds left on the clock. Trailblazers up by 3. It looks like the Trailblazers are going to take this one with Wemby getting taken out of the game with a concussion in the second quarter. Sucks to see. Scoot Henderson, 31 points, leading the way. He started the game 5 for 5. Started going crazy. Hey, number 2 pick for a reason. Number 3 pick for a reason.
Yep.
No, we'll see. We'll see what's up. But I still think the Spurs have a deeper team than the Portland Trailblazers. It could have been like a little, uppercut to the face, like, uppercut to the jaw, like, you guys just got your top man taken out. How are you guys going to respond? And I felt like they responded well, but, it's different to close out a game than just playing the game. So we'll see what happens in game 3, but Trailblazers just tied the series right now, 106-103.
Honestly, that's just kind of been the theme of these playoffs so far, has just been, it's just about every game has been, one team gets up and then the other team's able to adjust. I feel like these game 2s to these game 3s are going to be the real defining factors of the series, but it's at least been entertaining. It's not going to be like, it's like with Cleveland, we pretty much know, like, in 5, it's Cleveland's game, but like everything else, it's kind of up in the air, and I think that's a really exciting thing for the NBA this year.
Daggy. OKC is now up in the air.
No,
OKC is whooping ass. They're waxing ass.
No. Yes, I'm saying for the most part, though, the ones that we have been covering have been very close and very exciting. And that's great basketball. That's what we wanted. Like we were worried this year.
Exactly what we want.
Basketball's in the decline. Heck no. We got good games on tap.
Yeah, man. NBA playoffs, game 1 and 2s. Most of them are in the books. First round. Look at that. A couple more months of NBA playoffs is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But what we got on Thursday is the NFL draft.
Yes,
Players about to make their rookie deals, rookie starts, rookie training camps, rookie everything, man, is going to be changing their lives. And, our teams really need that first-round pick. I got 2 first-round picks. Hopefully, it turns into something else and we get to trade up and get like a 3rd or 6th pick in the draft. It seems like we're going that route. I don't know if exactly it's going to happen, but as of now, we got the 11th pick. And what pick do you got, BC?
We have pick number 15, although I could see that changing on draft night pretty quick.
Okay, and why is that?
Well, I know our general manager, Jason Light, he loves to, as much as he loves making draft picks higher up. He also loves trading back, and he loves accruing assets for the later rounds. And the one thing I will say about this draft, there are, I would say, like 2 or 3 guys that definitely, like the top 3, like, yes, bona fide, boom. I would say kind of the levels after that, you probably have a deep enough. This draft is very deep. I think that there are guys that can go from the first round all the way to the second rounders that can go all the way to like the third or the fourth. And then it's just that like rounds 1 and 2 are really close. Rounds 2 through 4, really close. Like it's one where you might not necessarily have the most bona fide guaranteed superstars, but there's a huge quantity of still quality players, I think. And I think the Bucks, knowing our GM, knowing how deep this draft is, I could see him trading back and to be able to accrue some draft picks, so to say, some more draft picks.
Okay, and let's say you don't trade back. Who exactly do you want?
If we don't decide to trade back, gosh, there's 2 guys I would want to take with this pick. The first one is Akeem Mesidor from Miami. I think that, I know people are dogging on him because he's a bit of an older prospect, but I think that actually helps him because I think he's probably one of the most pro-ready prospects in this draft. He might not be the biggest superstar, but I think that his game is very polished. I think it's very refined. I think that he's got a lot of different pass rush moves in his set, and I think he's a decent enough run stuffer to where if you're looking for that complement on the edge with Yaya Diaby, he's probably going to be the best fit at that point in time in the draft. Now, if they think that this other player that I'm going to name is going to get drafted a little later, or if they think that he might not make it to the second round, I'm just a big fan of this guy, Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker out of Texas Tech. Dude won every defensive award there was to win last year. And the only knock on him as a player is that he's a little undersized. He's about 6 foot, 6'1", 230, 235. But he fills up the stat sheet. Tackles, sacks, deep passes defended, interceptions, forced fumbles recovered. He does everything. He is a ball hawk. He's a takeaway machine at that position, and he very much reminds me of 2 linebackers that the Bucks made into Hall of Fame talents, Derek Brooks and Levante David. He fits pretty much that mold of that do-it-all linebacker that his only weakness is being a bit undersized. So if the Bucks feel like he'll be in the second round, he'll make it to them, draft Mesidor. He's a polished product. But if they don't, honestly, people might say it's a reach. I don't really care. Linebackers are the heart of the defense, and you need that alpha linebacker that's going to be able to come in from day one. And if he's not the main guy, he at least will be on the field. And I would love to have Jacob Rodriguez on this team. He is a stud, future stud.
Yeah, no, for sure. The linebackers are the heart and soul of the defense, definitely. Mm-hmm. And you could be a run stopper, you could be a pass blocker, whatever it is. You could show your dominance over there in the field, 100%.
He does
so definitely. If you have a void there on the linebacker position, especially the middle linebacker position, it would be great to go for a pick like that for sure.
Yep.
For us, I'm hearing a lot of things, man. I'm hearing that we might trade up for the 3rd pick. I'm hearing we might trade up for the 2nd pick, or I'm hearing that we might stay where we are and then use both our picks on defensive players, right? Where I agree there, I think if we do keep our 2 picks in the first round, I think both of them have to go defense. I don't want no offensive player. I think our offense is set. I'm not saying that we have the best offense in the league, but definitely top 10. And if we have a top 10 offense, while we have literally the worst defense in the league, we need to be drafting 2 defensive players in the first round if we keep those picks, right?
Yeah.
If we trade up for the 3rd pick, I want Sonny Styles.
Yep.
Sonny Styles, this guy's a freak athlete, great run stopper. Dude, he plays safety and the linebacker position basically at the same time. And dude, buddy's intelligent. Obviously comes from the Ohio State Buckeyes where you know that defensive players are top notch there. And it's like that would be the guy I would want. I would also want Caleb Downs as well. The only thing is the injury is kind of, it's kind of wishy-washy there. It makes you think like twice and like, should we really trust it, this and that? But I think he's such an impeccable athlete as well that I think he's going to recover well from the injury, especially with all the technology we have in 2026. That it's just it's a no-brainer that he's going to get healthy and he's going to play good in the NFL in the next level. You could tell that he's that type of player, right?
Yeah.
That would be if we go for the 6th pick. I think we'll go for Caleb Downs. I think he'll still be there at 6. But at 11, where we're at right now, I don't think both of those players are going to be there. And I think the next best position for us would be the corner position. So delaying out of LSU would be dope.
Yeah, he's a good fit.
My boy Gio that he's watching right now, he wants him for the Dolphins, which I think the Dolphins actually need a corner as well. So if they take him, whatever, cool. I'm cool with McCoy out of Tennessee as well. I think both of them can be some shutdown corners, very speedy, very handsy as well. They're not scared to be aggressive at the line and try to maintain their coverage on a good route running receiver for sure. That whenever they're trying to make a cut or trying to get away from the corner, they learn how to stay close to them and stuff like that. But I would like those two if we end up staying with the 11th pick. And then when we go down to the 25th pick, I think we should still go for a linebacker as well. It's not going to be that much of a top dog linebacker like Sonny Styles, but still a good linebacker that's going to help us out with the run and the pass at the same time.
Yeah, someone like C.J. Allen would be a good fit there. I think he's from Georgia. Fit. I will say, like, I'll give this prediction for what I think is going to happen as far as for us, because I mentioned it earlier. I do think ultimately we will trade down. I could see us trading back to the 25th pick with Chicago, and we trade them our pick, but then they also throw in, because of the trade that they had earlier in the offseason, they're going to get, or they're going to give us one of their extra second round picks that they have. So that gives us 25th pick. And I would love it if we could have the 57th pick, but either 57 or 60 in addition to our second round pick at 46, and having, a later first round that you could probably use on Jacob Rodriguez then, and 2 second round picks that you could address edge and defensive line with. And there's some really impressive guys on both of those as well. I think that's going to be the best bet for the Bucs, because, if Akeem is there at 25, I'd say try to get him. But, you can always package your picks that you have if you want to move up and get Rodriguez. But, yeah, I think definitely the team to kind of negotiate with is Chicago, because they have that extra second rounder that you can use.
Yeah, that's what I think that the Cowboys might do. Try to package those picks and get up to the 3rd or the 6th pick. But if it doesn't end up happening, I'm cool with the 11th and the 25th. Sure.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, man, draft on Thursday. I'm pretty excited for that. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be the first time in a while that I'll probably watch the whole first round. I think sometimes I just get to either where we're sitting at, which is always like in the middle of the pack, and then I just turn it off, or if not, the first top 10 picks. But I think this year, man, like you said, that they're so deep in the draft this year. There's so many players, good players that can go in the first round, that I want to see what each team gets, because I feel like each player is going to make a difference for any team that gets selected.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and I will be – well, I was going to say I usually do like to watch draft day one, but I'll be actually doing the Work in the Bucs draft party. It's not at the stadium this year. They moved it to downtown St. Pete. I want to say like Central Ave, like a few blocks there. So it'll be a new experience, but I'm looking forward to it. So if anybody's watching, you guys, or St. Pete or Tampa, you guys are going to the party, I'll be running around with the camera, so I'll put you guys up on the big screen. It'll be a fun time. So
see if you can go live on Views from the Stands there.
Live reacts. I got to make sure I had that credential though, man.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, man, great episode. BC, you already know. Let these people know where they can follow you and view your stuff, my boy.
Yeah, you guys can find me. You see the little thumbnail right there, the little underscore right there at BC the Brand Media. That's where you can find me on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook too. That's where you just kind of see, like I said, I've been doing camera opping for pro sports for since 2019. So I've been doing it for a while now. Just kind of seeing what that's like. Also doing public address announcing for some local collegiate minor league teams. You guys kind of see what that grind is like too. Just really working in sports in general and just kind of getting to share my story and just kind of what it's all about. And then also too, follow my wife. She does. We have our business. She's the main star of that one. Brand S Media. She does wedding photography. She does event photography. She does so much stuff. She is an absolute boss, a beast. Behind the lens there, she's an absolute stud. But you can find her on social media too at Brand S Media. Just kind of seeing, a little bit of Central Florida's premier videography, photography power couple, so to say. So.
Yeah, that's what's up, guys. You know where to catch us: TikTok, IG. We got a Twitter now at Views Stands. You'll see it there pop up on the screen when we put it on the recorded episode. And then please give us a like, subscribe, and share the show with your family, friends, and strangers. Whenever you go to a game, let them know Views from the Stands Sports Podcast. And y'all want to tune in, listen to it, and come on the show and talk smack. If you want to talk smack on live with us, or not, just in the comments like my boy Gio does. Saying the lane to Miami. We'll see. I don't know. The Cowboys and Dolphins have a history of drafting offensive linemen. So let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yo, all I'm saying is our cornerback needs ain't gonna hit until the 3rd or 4th round, so we're chilling.
Trade up for Sonny, please.
Oh no, we like our picks. We're gonna keep them. If anything, we'll trade back and get more. No,
I'm saying we trade for Sonny.
No, we'll trade you. We'll take pick 20 and give you pick 15, but you got to give us a second round or something, or a third. No, we don't play cheap.